Hey, let's take a look at page 2 of your assignment here. On question number 10, we got the supermarket, and the supermarket is telling us that it makes these trays in the shape of a rhombus. The diagonals of the tray form 4 compartments. Remember, since it's a rhombus, I know they're congruent. We're given that the measure of angle E to F to G. We know this whole angle here is 130 degrees. And then we want to find the measure of angle H to G to F. Well, the fact that it's a rhombus has nothing to do with this answer, because we know the adjacent angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. So we know HGF is going to be 50 degrees. Nothing new on that one. Okay, let's take a look at question number 11 here. On question number 11, we've got this parallelogram, PQRS, so let's draw that out. PQR, whoops, almost did the same mistake some of you do, R into S. Now, we're told P to R is the same as Q to S. Well, if P to R is the same as Q to S in a parallelogram, that makes it a rectangle. Ellen thinks it's a rhombus. Sorry, Ellen, you're wrong. Or Elin, you're wrong. And Evan thinks it's a square. Nope. Evan is wrong also. There's not enough information to say it's a square. We'd have to know something else. So, in this case, they are both incorrect. Okay, question number 12. It tells us if it's a true or false statement. Oh, no. Then I want to write the converse, the inverse, and the contrapositive. Wow. And then, so let's start with this statement. If a shape is a square, then it's a rectangle. Well, that would be true. If it's a square, it must be a rectangle. Let's start with the converse here. Remember, in a converse, we just flip around. So, if a shape is a rectangle, then it is a square. That would be false, because if it's a rectangle, it doesn't have to be a square. Okay, then let's do the inverse next. Inverse, we're going to take the opposite of our conditional statement. Keep them in the same order. If a shape is not a square, then it is not a rectangle. That statement will be false also, because if it's not a square, it still could be a rectangle. And then finally, let's do the contrapositive. Remember, the contrapositive is the converse of the inverse, or the inverse of a converse. We'll say if a shape is not a rectangle, then it is not a square. And that would be true, because if it's not a rectangle, there's no way it can be a square. And there we have page 2.